I was about to be arrested. That was my first thought when a flash of movement outside the window caught my attention. Extreme overreaction? Perhaps. But when you'd illegally let yourself into your school on a Sunday, these were the worries that plagued a girl. Acting on instinct, I hurled myself off the piano stool and onto the floor, scuttling to the windows overlooking the quad. Maybe they hadn't seen me yet. The late afternoon sun was sinking, and perhaps, if I was lucky, the glare would temporarily blind them. I could make my escape out one of the back doors. There was an exit in the administration hall. Others in the math and history wings. Of course, not one anywhere near the music rooms. Helpful. Ever so carefully, I lifted to peer out the window and yelped at the face on the other side. I ducked down again, though there was no chance he hadn't seen me, what with his nose an inch from the glass. I was totally busted. But at least it wasn't the police. Lawson's laughter on the other side of the window made me realize how ridiculous I was being. I stood, embarrassment heating my face. "You want to let me in?" he yelled. I squeezed my eyes closed, but nodded. "I'll meet you at the door." Scrambling down the hall, I tried to come up with a plausible story that would result in the least amount of trouble. I still had nothing by the time I pulled open the heavy, ancient oak doors of Providence School for Girls. My uncle stood on the other side, boxes of his work balanced precariously in his arms. He shifted beneath their weight, sending a USB stick and a pile of papers sliding off the top. They fluttered down around our ankles. I knelt hastily, tucking the USB stick into my pocket and gathering up the runaway pages. I glanced up at his familiar face. "Before you say anything, just remember, I'm your favorite niece." "You're my only niece," he grumbled, but there was still a hint of laughter in his voice. I put the papers back on top, then took the box from him, lightening his load. "Which means you won't have me arrested?" He kicked the doors closed behind him. "Well, that depends on how quickly you start explaining why you're at school on a Sunday night instead of at Meredith's, which is where you said you were going. How did you even get in here without tripping the alarm? If you broke a window, I won't be impressed." He walked toward his office. I hurried to keep up. No, all windows are intact. I used the code." "What? How do you even know it?" I snorted, then remembered I was probably about to be grounded until I turned 18, which, admittedly, was only a couple of weeks away. But still, I tried to force my expression into something more suitably chastised. "Sorry, but you've been driving me to school and unlocking that door in front of me for the past 3 years. The code is my birthday, just like all your passwords." That resulted in a withering look, but I knew he wasn't really angry at me. We wove through the administration offices until we reached Lawson's, his gold-plated principal nameplate on the door. He unlocked it, and we both dumped our boxes on the table. Then he turned to me, folding his arms across his chest, giving me his best principal's glare. "How long have you been sneaking in here for?" No point lying about it now. "Months?" His mouth dropped open. "To do what?" "Please don't say drugs. If you say drugs, I swear I'm going to take you down to that police station myself." I sniggered. "No, something much worse." "Sex? Booze? What could be worse?" He narrowed his eyes, but they crinkled at the corners. He was trying not to laugh. "Are you running some sort of illegal cockfighting ring out of the gym?" I raised an eyebrow. "No, but wow, thanks for the ideas. If college doesn't work out for me, I'll be sure to consider those options. I've just been practicing in the music rooms, all alone. No sex, drugs, or farmyard animals of any kind."